I'm Jasvir Singh. I am the co-founder of South Asian Heritage Month. I'm also involved in a number of different faith community, interfaith and LGBTQ+ charities. My presentation today was about intersectional identities and how to understand them. I'm a gay Sikh man. I married my husband last year, and I have experienced discrimination over the years based on a lack of understanding about my own intersectional identities. So for me, it was important to ensure that people understand why intersectionality is such a significant feature in the lived experience of lives for so many individuals, and how to be an ally, not just a performative ally, but a true ally, and show that allyship through their work and actions, and provide that support really for individuals from any background whatsoever who may have an intersectional identity. Also, it's important to remember that just because someone looks a certain way, you can't make assumptions about them. The best thing to do is always ask them and find out more about their various individual traits, characteristics, personalities, and what's important to them. Conferences like this are fundamental towards ensuring that people understand all of the various aspects that I've discussed in these sorts of conferences. Today, for example, we've been talking about LGBTQ+ identity, as well as intersectional identities. It's important because for some of the people in this conference, it may well be the first time that they've spoken to someone who's open about their identity, who's open about who they are. And there may be colleagues of theirs who don't want to talk about their sexuality or their personal lives. There may be individuals who perhaps belong to different communities or have hidden disabilities who again feel uncomfortable talking about them. So the more that people are exposed to this, the more it makes it easier for those conversations to take place. And having a conference with a great level of diversity such as this one really helps to ensure that. South Asian Heritage Month runs from the 18th of July to the 17th of August each year. It's an awareness month for the South Asian communities in Britain and elsewhere, and it came about because it didn't exist. There was a real need to talk about South Asianness, talk about brown people, talk about what mattered to us as a community, as diverse communities, plural, not just singular. And we didn't have the space. So it was created to ensure that we could have that opportunity, that we had a month dedicated to South Asian identity, culture, heritage, history, food, music, and that we could not just celebrate who we are, but we can commemorate the important dates and important history, as well as educate so that everyone leaves the month having learned at least one new thing. My one key message from today would be, don't assume. Talk. Provide that safe space by letting people be open about who they are. And if they want to speak, they will. And if they don't, they won't. But as long as you've provided that space, that's what matters. It's tough when you're a person of faith and you're from the LGBTQ+ community. It's not easy. And I think one of the most important things is to provide spaces where people feel comfortable, where they feel welcomed by their places of worship, by their communities, where they are made to feel as though they're not the other, that they're part of the community, not a minority that's being pushed to the sidelines. As long as those sorts of spaces are created and championed and modelled, I think things could change for the better. We're some way away from that happening, but I'm optimistic. I think things will change. There are several organisations out there that can provide support, resources, if you're from the LGBTQ+ background and you're Sikh, or indeed if you're from other religions. For the Sikh community, there's a support group called Sarbat, S-A-R-B-A-T. You can go online, search for it, and they have regular support groups. There is also the NAS Project London, if you're based in London. There are other groups in other parts of the country, and there are also groups available for people belonging to other faith communities across the country, from South Asian backgrounds as well as non-South Asian. Best thing to do is to go to the LGBT switchboard online, and they will have a list of resources. Another space to go to would be NAS Project London, and they have a list of resources that are available on their website.